I think love and romance is a beautiful thing. Some of my favorite moments from life have come from being in a relationship, actually. But does that mean I think a lot of people nowadays should be dating? Absolutely not. God, there's so much I want to talk about right now, but I don't even know where to start. So to preface this, I actually don't ever want to get married and I don't ever want to have kids. That's a non-negotiable thing for me. It's a topic for another video, which I'll definitely make in the future, maybe right after this video actually. But yeah, let's just say that. And I've also never been in a good relationship, so I guess take that as you will. I've definitely had my problems in the past that I think are cured now. But regardless, I think there's a lot of low quality people out there nowadays. And I'm not trying to, shit on pretty much everybody out there. There's definitely good people and good people always exist. But especially with the rise of social media and all these silly dating apps online, which I actually just deleted, by the way, it breeds a lot of narcissism and just a lot of validation that's given to people for free online. And it also sucks because when people struggle with depression, they turn to an artificial source, which they think is their cure, hence online validation and social media. And it's really unhealthy because it just causes a lot of problems, and a lot of people struggle with that nowadays, which ends up breeding codependent people as well. And that's a thing I was never really able to relate to as well. Codependence is never something you should push on somebody. And if you don't suffer those issues, then that's great. And if you do, I genuinely suggest you work on yourself, because you have to learn to love yourself first and foremost before you can ever love another person, at least properly, in my opinion. When you love yourself, everything in life kind of just flows naturally and it goes really, really, really well. And I'm especially at a point in my life where I actually want to be single for a while. I don't know what's going to happen a month from now, 3 months from now, a year, 10 years, who really knows? I'm just a 22-year-old, I don't know what position in life I'm going to be in around that time when it happens. I'm not pessimistic about never finding the one, because definitely deep within me, of course I'm going to one day. But I'm at a point in my life where I just love the freedom I have right now. And quite frankly, to put it simply, I just don't feel like being in a relationship. I don't want to put the work in. I just want to focus on myself, my hobbies, my passions, making as much money as I possibly can. I just want to get rich first. I just want to live life. And I've been single way more than I've ever been in a relationship. And I've had a few, I guess, decent ones, but most of them have just been not the right fit for me. So I think a lot of people need to work on themselves first, because I don't really understand why there's a rush and there's this necessity that people think they have to stay in a relationship in order to be happy. Because you have to be happy with yourself. At the end of the day, you're always just going to be by yourself. And I love being by myself personally. Like I said earlier, it gives me freedom. I can do what I want whenever I want. There's nobody there to judge my lifestyle. There's nobody there that's going to force me to spend time with them. And there's relationships do take a lot of work, and they can add a lot of fulfillment to your life. And fulfillment isn't really talked about a lot in modern day society as well, because fulfillment you'll take to the grave. A lot of people just say, hey, as long as you're happy, which I actually disagree with that statement, very heavily. Only because happiness is a temporary emotion, waves of sadness, happiness, contentment, they'll come and go. And fulfillment, you'll just take to the grave. Once you're fulfilled with something you really did, you're always going to be fulfilled by that. And you're going to be really pleased if you followed your dreams and you just did something you really wanted to do. And a relationship should never be a source of happiness for you. It should complement your happiness. And I definitely know what I want out of a relationship now. I'm actually at a point where I literally just now, finally in my life, I'm getting a grasp of who I am as a person. And I definitely don't think I would have gotten here if it wasn't for the fact that I was single for as long as I have been. And I really think a lot more people should put emphasis on that and focus on it. But you can have a relationship at any point in your life and be happy. You can be single and be happy. You can have kids. You can not have kids. You can be married. You can not be married. You can be happy under any condition in life whatsoever. I don't think marriage and relationships are a bad thing at all. I think they're fantastic. But like I said, there's a lot of just low quality people dating other low quality people, and not a lot of people have higher standards. I don't really care too much about looks nowadays. I think a lot of people shouldn't either. And now granted, of course, you have to be attracted to whoever it is, but there's just a lot more to get out of somebody's personality. And their personality, at the end of the day, is what is going to make them either uglier or more attractive to you. And personal interest is something that's really, really important. Because I'm not, like, really a fan of, like, the whole separation of interest when it comes to relationships. I would really ideally like somebody to be into the same things I'm into, or at least be very open to talking about them. I'm not quite at the place, or at least the type of person I want to be yet, which is okay, because that's what I'm working towards being. And I love myself. I actually really love where I am. So it's not an unhealthy thing. It's just that there's a really specific person I do want to be, and I'm probably not going to obtain that until a little later on. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. But at least in my age, I can't really seem to find anybody that's has a hobby other than drinking, that's responsible with their money, that actually has goals and ambitions, that's, not constantly just looking for like a relationship or just like hooking up or anything like that. I can't really seem to find any of that in a person. And I mean, I get it, I'm at an age where it's like a self-discovery phase. You don't really know who you are at all. And I'm shocked that I kind of honestly have an idea of who I really am as a person now, especially with my current living situation and everything else going on in life. It's just really easy. It's cheap. Everything works out well for me, and I'm very like happy in that regard. I don't have like, a position like my own house or anything like that where I'm like, I'm really proud to provide, something into like a relationship at the moment. And a lot of people need to build themselves up to be better people and actually provide something to a relationship where both parties can simultaneously be fulfilled and happy about that, where a lot of people just dive into relationships at points in their lives where they should really be focusing on themselves. It's a crucial thing in life just to be content and fulfilled with who you are as a person. And as a result, a lot of people have had really bad experiences, and you see groups like the Red Pill community and like MGTOW and what is a female dating strategy pop up. Now, I'm not going to give my opinion, or at least my thorough opinion, on any of these groups, but I will say, at their core, there are very good ideals that you can live by, because they put emphasis on focusing on yourself. Now, put into practice, though, you have to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, because, like, just don't artificially do it. Don't fake it. Don't be, like, don't change yourself to be somebody just because you're like, oh, this is it. This is going to get me girls. This is going to get me, make me happier or whatever. Just apply it to your life in a way that is in accordance to your goals, and if it's necessary. Otherwise, the old saying, just like be yourself. We can go into a whole debate about the topic of a self, if it even exists anyways, because I might have stated it in a video previously, but I genuinely believe anybody can be the type of person, they want to be. Anybody can do anything in this world, and you're the only person holding yourself back if you don't think so. So, yeah, definitely, like, just be who you are and be comfortable with your personality and who you are as a person. And you can always be another person, just don't, like I said, artificially just put that upon yourself and into your life. That's not who you are down at your core. And don't even get me started on online dating. It's so silly. God, it's ridiculous. Online dating is just a shit show for men. Like, there's no better way to put it. Like, girls have it way easier on online dating. Almost all of my female friends have told me that they use Tinder and Hinge or whatever for just validation. Like, it's so ridiculous. I actually had a pretty good profile. I put up my profile online for criticism, actually. And yeah, I made like a few small changes, but people said it was pretty good. And I wasn't struggling to get matches, but I'd be like, oh, cool. I'd get like, a few matches in a day, and then they would lead to conversation. Sometimes I get a date out of it. Definitely met people that I could have been compatible with. But for one reason or another, I either got ghosted or I did the same to them, which I don't do anymore. I thoroughly suggest everybody like actually says something, because that's what I do now. If I'm not feeling it, I genuinely say something like, hey, like, thank you for your time, but I'm just really not feeling it. So, hey, good luck out there. Everybody should say something. It feels way better than to just, feel destroyed because you don't know what happened or where you could have done differently. But yeah, girls have it way easier, man. Like, it's like, And before any girl watches this video and is like, that's not true, or it's like, all right, let's compare, you know, history. I re-download my dating apps and you show me yours. You probably have like 50 men like flooding your inbox. Now, granted, of course, you know, that doesn't mean that you're gonna find a quality person, the type of person you want. Like, of course, you gotta like go through them, but it's definitely like a boost in ego though. Like I said, a lot of people use it for validation. It's kind of sick, in my opinion. Like, what the hell? Yeah, there's too much I could say there. It's just stupid. That sums it up pretty nicely. People should really just focus on being themselves and actually arranging their life and not focusing on a relationship, you know? It should be there to add extra happiness to your life. And you need to do it in a healthy way. I don't know, a lot of people think they're going to be forever alone. It's like, especially when it comes to the younger crowd, everybody is extremely neurotic. And I found that over time, that has definitely gone down. Like, I used to be the type that stresses, like, oh my god, I could be doing this, I could be doing that, but I'm doing this instead, but why aren't I doing this, you know? Because in modern day, you can literally just pick up anything at any given time. There's just so many things you could be doing. Like, there's so much accessibility to everything. But I stopped stressing about that because it's like, why? Like, why care? Just do what you feel like doing. If I feel like watching Death Note on Netflix, then okay, I'll just put it up and I'll just watch it. I'm not going to stress about it as something else I could be doing, you know? It's like, if I feel like just picking up the guitar, if I feel like drawing, if I feel like, you know, working on a video or making more money, you know, I'll just do it. I'm not going to be like, oh man, I could be making progress in this. It's like, nah, man, just focus on what you want to do in that moment. In accordance to your goals too, you know? Plus that whole, like, texting all day, every day thing, I strongly dislike. I feel like it's really draining, but I don't know. I'm kind of flip-floppy on it. Like, there's times where I like it, and there's times, but then there's like a lot of times where I don't like it. I'm really inconsistent in that regard. Yeah, I don't know. It can be draining. It can not be draining. I guess on the days it's not draining, it's if I have literally nothing else to do, but on the days that it is, it's just another thing I have to focus on. And I'm just a really independent person. You know, I just like being on my own and doing my own thing. And I think ideally I'd best get along with somebody else that's of like the same type of independence. And I feel like if you focus on being more independent, you know, it's going to do you really well. But everybody's different, you know, that's just my own personal experience. And yeah, I guess that kind of sums it up right now. I don't really know what else I want to add to this video, so if you made it to this point, I really appreciate y'all watching. You know, leave a like if you enjoyed, leave a dislike if you didn't enjoy, subscribe if you want to see more, and yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video.